Hi guys, my name is Valur, your friend in Reykjavik, and I'm here with Heather Linnet, who is originally from Australia, and she is fond of Iceland. And you've been what 8 times to Iceland, right?
That's correct, Vala, and good morning.
Good
It's
morning.
a pleasure to be with you.
What time is it? You're all the way down under.
We are exactly 9:30 a.m. on Sunday. The morning is beautiful. We are 26 degrees Celsius and the sun shines.
26 degrees.
26.
Nice.
We've
It's a little,
increased a little bit from a few moments ago when we were chatting offline.
yeah. It,
By
it's it's
the
it's a
time we finish, it'll raise a little more, I'm sure.
26 degrees and it's only 9:30. You're and of course another day.
Yes,
We are still on the 15th of January. It's 16th or in
yes,
your
that's correct. I am a woman of the future.
yes. Exactly. That's why we're broadcasting this in a little bit of a strange time, guys. Obviously with the time difference, it makes it a little bit harder logistically for a chat about that. So I see a couple of comments. Do you see that, Heather? Do you see the comments here to the right hand side?
No, oh, I see one under you. It tells me that my Fire and Ice group is one of the favorites and
Yeah,
they like posting there, but I can't see who that is. It's a Facebook user.
yeah.
So,
I'm not sure.
welcome, user.
I'm not sure why it doesn't pop up. It sometimes pops up like Margaret here. Guten Abend.
I don't know
Uh,
what it means. I'm not
Guten,
good.
Guten Abend. Basically, good evening.
Good
It's
evening. Good
yeah. It's
evening, Margot. Nice to
it's
have you aboard.
and Giuliano. Hi from Snorrabut, Reykjavik.
Yes.
So Heather, what So you're from Australia. What drove your thirst for Iceland and actually the Nordic countries? What was the
Yeah.
beginning of that all?
I'm often asked that question, and it's a very difficult one to answer because I quite frankly don't know. All I know is it's always been there. I do have a memory of when I was very little, and I was given a book from my grandmother. And on the cover of this book, and you'll relate to this in a moment, on the cover of the book, there were two little girls. One little girl had a red hat and a blue scarf, and the other little girl had a blue scarf and a red hat. They were standing under a green sky,
So Northern Lights.
northern lights, but I didn't know that then.
Mm.
But I love those northern lights. I love the green sky, and I remember saying to my mother, "Why don't we have green sky?" And I don't think she knew at that time why we didn't. And of course, as I've gotten older, much older, I realised that that's what that book was about. And I don't know what happened to that book. I would love to know where that book went. Oh, good night from a bedroom in the
But
north of Italy.
Heather, don't you have Aurora Australis, the Southern Lights?
Yes, we do, but not where I am located. I'm too far. I'm south,
Yeah.
but too far north. Not far enough. Not far enough down.
So
And I have never seen them. I
where
have
do
a
you,
friend.
where do you need to go to in Australia? What's a place name if you want to see the Southern Lights?
You see them low in the east from time to time. You see them in Tasmania.
Tasmania. Okay.
Tasmania is to the left of me,
Okay.
um, depending on where you're looking, of course. If it's not to the left, it's to the right. And we see they're also seen naturally in New Zealand, but you've got to go a little bit further south. So
Okay.
Tasmania is good.
Okay.
My friend has seen them only once in her life, and she lives in Tasmania.
Okay.
So
Are they,
again,
so you've seen them here, right?
yes,
Of course, you've been here 8 times. So, but do you know how active it is? I'm just curious, just as we're talking, and how
No,
active
um,
does it get as active in the southern lights as in here in Iceland?
I don't. I actually don't know because it's
Oh,
not so much that I've gone into. I can get
yeah,
back to you on that. I
yeah,
can
yeah,
look
no
at.
problem. I'm just sorry
No,
sorry for putting you on the spot.
oh, no, no, no.
Just
That's
curious,
quite
just
fine.
curious.
I would have just liked to have answered. I like to think I know a little bit about everything,
Mm.
um, but I don't know how frequent they are. And but of course, I think they're seen in a different season as well. The seasons change that. I think, and there is a group down here that goes into that. So anyone from
Yeah.
the north that might be interested in the southern aurora, there is certainly a few groups around uh, that
Okay.
go into that a lot
Okay.
more than what I
Yeah.
do. This is
Uh,
another, and I don't know what
uh,
Margot's saying.
that's time for another chat. But okay, you Anna, you saw this book cover when you were a little girl,
Yes,
and
I
and
do.
uh, and that was kind of like the start of your.
I think
Uh,
that started it, and I always wanted to go and find that green sky, and it took me all those years, of course, to do that. And I've always had this interest in Nordic history, and I've been to Scandinavia many times, and I've been to the Faroe a number of times. So it's that kind of history that
but
it's
did you start to wonder about Nordic history in school, or
yes.
what what was the catalyst? Did you read a book or
No,
saw a movie or something like that? Nothing,
no, I don't believe it was any of that. I think it was just there, always just there,
Mhm.
and the history, um, the mythology, and the history of of Nordic countries, and the fact how it started and why it started, and this fantasy that people have about the so-called Viking. And I think Chrissy Hemsworth, whom I've met, who played Thor, um, from what my research shows, he's way, way too big for the average so-called Viking. From what the digs in my research, the Viking male was only 5'8", 5'9". Now
No,
Chrissy
no,
Hemsworth,
I don't believe that. I don't believe we are huge, man.
the big men, yes, but
Don't you start slacking off my Vikings, man. No, no,
well,
okay.
we'll have to go back to Jesse Biok for that and tell him his research is off. They're way more than 5'8", five foot
Yeah, yeah.
nine. Uh, but it's that fantasy that gets people going. And when a lot of people I've spoken to, when they start talking about the Viking, whom we have established earlier, you and I, Viking wasn't who they were. They're not a race.
No.
It's a lifestyle, and that's what I think a lot of people might not realize, that to be a Viking is not being a Viking, it's to actually do and go what I understand is called, and you'll correct me on this, a Viking. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah, go in Viking, but Viking is a broad, is like a broad concept. You can also, a lot of the Vikings were basically merchants, but
Yes,
they were not just they were not
merchants
just
and
yeah,
farmers.
yes, and
That's what.
yeah, it went
Yes.
everywhere. But okay, now, let's go back. So okay, schoolgirl, you saw a book, and then you were always it was always in
Always,
your mind,
always
like a.
interested. And when then, of course, you go through life living, and then the time came that I was looking for. Lisa has a passion. Iceland's a passion. Yes, I agree. Trip number 15. Oh, Lisa. Um, where was I? I'm getting sidetracked
Yeah, no,
here.
no, no problem. So, okay, when was your first trip? How?
My first trip to Iceland was in 2010. I had been to
Okay.
Scandinavia researching long before that. I was into the runes, and you don't have many ruins from what I'm saying, rune, not ruin.
Mhm.
It's not RUIN, but rune markings, rune stones.
The rune stones, yeah, yeah.
And I'm into that, and I got very good at reading them. And then I realized what I translated didn't make sense, and of course it wasn't English, even though I had translated the letters, the symbols into the English equivalent. That wasn't going to work. So that came in, but the mythology was there. I was always playing around with the mythology and the gods. Um, they hold a great deal for me, the Nordic gods. Um, Even a change of lifestyle, and I don't mind putting that online.
Were you in that? Did you at any time were you researching the Norse mythology? Did you read
Yes,
the Poetic Edda or
uh, yes, I have them all. They are all behind me, of course, because I don't have a camera on. I can't show you, but I have a vast collection of literature. And of course, when I leave this earth, that literature I'm hoping will go to good use. My kids have been told they are not allowed to give it to the Salvation Army.
okay?
It's got to go back to Iceland or into a library somewhere so that everybody can use it. I've probably got thousands of dollars tied up in my own library.
Okay.
Um, then after that, I got interested in the sagas, and I have read most of them. Well, I've read everything that's translated. I have a copy of all of them that are translated. I have the 5-volume work, um, which I've had now for many. Well, as soon as it came out, I bought it direct from Leif Erikson Publications. Um, and if I say that his name wrongly, I do apologize to all Icelanders.
No, this is perfect. Leif Erikson, that's, you can.
Leif, it's an F for me,
Yeah,
an F word, and an F letter. So it's Leif, it's Lever or Lefer. I'll try to get it right,
yeah.
but my apologies if I don't. So I got into that. I got into writing as my children disappeared. Um, I got into writing, and I have a book. The book is called In the Shadows of Vikings, and it's dedicated to all of you, to the forefathers and the foremothers of the Vikings, of the Norse of today.
Yeah.
But
Did,
but
so
it's
so a,
ice.
bo- so a book
Yes,
that you wrote yourself about.
I written myself. Yes,
Okay,
it was
interesting.
due for publication, and it is finished. It is completed. I could send it to the publisher right this minute,
Okay.
but I hold back because I have a little bit of fear in me of getting something wrong, of uh, of not having portrayed something correctly, and that troubles me. That I might have gotten something wrong, and for that reason, I have not yet published it.
Heather, you should go ahead. You only live once, and all that. You need to if you put a whole lot of work into a book, you have to get it out. That's simple as that.
Yes.
Uh, you know,
And I agree, but I just, for some reason, I just can't. I just get worried and I can't send it off, and I go and have another look at it. I've revamped it, Faith Over Fear. Thank you, Lisa. Um, I really need to do it. I've had a lot of help from the guides that I've been with. I started out. You asked me earlier. My first trip was in 2010. That was when I was rid of all of my working life. I was retired, and I thought, right, this is it. And I booked
was
my.
it what was it the Eyjafjallajökull volcanoes, or you just
Uh, that was that was probably the catalyst. Yes,
yeah.
I went in May, the end of May. I arrived on June the 1st, and the actual eruption although finished a week or so before that, I think. It was horrendous. My first trip there was into Torsmörk, and I went in with Grey Line. Actually, I can say this because he won't be there now, but my guide driver of that very first trip, and I was very, very jet lagged. I just got off a flight, and I went into.
Sorry, how long is that? What is it? 30, 36 hours to go from Australia to Iceland?
Yes, airport to airport from where I am, 36 hours.
36 hours.
So
a little bit jet lagged.
A little bit jet lagged. Quite a bit jet lagged. But awake and raring to go. So I went in with Grey Line, and I have some pictures, and I should have sent them to you, of boulders just being everywhere on the ground. There were all these boulders all over the ground. The ground still felt warm to me.
So you were driving the south shore, the south coast.
Yes, we went down the south coast and the trip into Torsmörk. And but I was going to say the driver guide who drove the bus is in my group, but I won't show him up by telling you his name. But I was just so delighted when this name appeared on the screen of this gentleman wanting to join my group, and I thought, I know you. And I'm delighted.
So your original driver guide, he showed up in the Facebook group.
He showed up in the Facebook group. Good morning, Hallgrimur.
Góðan daginn.
Hallgrimur, for those who don't know, is one of my admins. He's actually one of my really go-to men in my group, Iceland Fire and Ice. He is the admin, and so many of his photos are in the group and are well appreciated, and I'm delighted to have him with me. I've actually done a trip with him as well.
That's one of his photos, right?
This is one of his, yes. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
We have in the group many Icelandic photographers. Oh yes, that was a wonderful day. That was a day eating. Now here I go with one of my first words. Crikey bear.
Crikey bear, very good. Crikey bear.
And they taste very good.
Crowberries, yeah.
Yes, Hallgrimur went off walking with his camera, and I sat around me in the bush. There was a lot less on that bush when we left than there were when I arrived, I can tell you. That was a good day. That was, I think, the last day I was in Iceland on my last trip in 2018. We haven't been able to travel too much, as we all know. So that was an interesting
So you've been here 8 times. So you've been basically 2010 to 2018, basically every year, or
every year to 2018, and 1 year twice in the same year that went over to the next year. I've had, as I mentioned earlier, the first trip I did was a bus trip, and I did that to see whether or not I could gather. Oh yes, there's my leg.
Where are you located over there?
Oh, you're going to ask me that. That's a Vasen.
You tried the name earlier, so I just want to, get it out there.
Yes, and I did go back and get it. A friend of mine put it on a repeat on a video for me so that I could remember how to say it over and over and over. And I still can't say it.
Yeah, well, Hreðavatn.
Thank you. You be kind. It's a very beautiful lake, and thank you, Hallgrimur.
Is that Seltun?
Yes, it is. And I was with Hallgrimur. that time.
Mhm.
So that's me. Very few people have seen pictures of me, and you can take it down now. Uh, yes, beautiful, beautiful lights. I don't know what else I can tell you. I want to share with you the experience that I've had, and I've had absolutely wonderful, wonderful experience, and particularly with private guides. And when after the bus trip, and I realized that I was not going to be able to get enough information from the driver guides on buses, they just don't have the time. Thank you, Shannon. Yes, he does. I just don't have the time to do it all. So it just seemed to explode. And the more I went, the more I wanted to go. So I just kept going back and using private guides and being one-on-one. I got some really wonderful experiences. And one of the guides I was with, a gentleman called Ogne, he had me. Ogne is a former headmaster, and he would give me words every night to learn, and I would have to be able to tell him those words in the morning. He would write all these words out, another one of Halgrimus. He would write all these words on a napkin.
Okay.
And in the morning, I would have to be able to tell him what these words meant and learn how to say them.
So you had to go to sleep, and before you went to sleep, then you had to repeat it like a parrot,
yes,
and got back.
I was asked to learn these words, but I do think he was quite definite about me learning them. And I really believe that I would have been able to speak a lot more had I done more journeys with that gentleman. But
What is Lisa is asking? What's your? You've been here 8 times, and obviously fell in love with the country 2010. So you've been here again and again and again.
One thing she wants
Yeah.
me to.
One
Lisa,
thing.
pretty much impossible. It's the nature for me. It's all about the nature. It's all about Mother Earth and what she decides for everything and for everyone. I can't pick one thing for you.
Yeah.
I might pick one.
You've already picked one. You basically the first thing that popped up in your mind is nature, and that's it.
Yes.
That's nature.
Nature.
Yeah.
But one place, if I pick one place, Westfjords. Got to be Westfjords.
Westfjords. Okay.
I think
I really love driving those Westfjords. It's like going the peninsulas.
Oh, yes.
It takes a whole lot of time, but yeah, that's one of the part of the country that I've been been there, but I haven't really traveled there.
Well, I've been many times, many times into the Westfjords, and I've probably seen a great deal. I've even been told, Vala, and anyone who's listening, that I have probably seen more of Iceland than a native.
Well,
Thank you, Sarah.
probably many. I can say that.
Many Icelanders. Are you meaning?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably you've seen more of the country than many Icelanders. Yes.
Yes.
Many Icelanders just travel to Spain when they have time to travel. Go somewhere a little bit warmer.
Yes. And another area I very much love is the Reykjanes, and I think you've got one of my pictures of no Reykjanes. No. There's one with a mountain, the stacks. Never mind. That's a very beautiful place. That's Fossfjordur. Very, very, very beautiful place. If anyone
what did you call it? Fossfjordur.
Fossfjordur, I think.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Nope.
There it is. That was mine.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's a photo I'm very, very proud of. That's one of mine. And I was standing right, right on the edge of the cliff. If you walk 4 or 5 steps forward, you're actually looking down into the depths of nothing. It's just sheer cliff straight over the edge. And I was told, "You've gone close enough."
Yeah.
And he meant it. You get back. You've gone close enough. And that particular place, I think it's called, is it called Reykjanes, Viola?
Yeah, Reykjanes Skye. Yeah, Reykjanes Peninsula.
To the right, there is a lighthouse, open sea, and a lighthouse. But there, no, Monica, not Landmannalaugar. Oh, you like Landmannalaugar?
Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Yes.
Beautiful
No.
area.
Now this, do you know where this is, Vala?
No, I'm not.
No. Oh, this is another favorite. This is now.
I've seen the sunset a couple of times, but not the view.
This is Borderi.
Sorry?
Borderi.
Borderi. Ah, the old shopping center.
Oh, this is something so special. There's a very beautiful accommodation house just to the left, a little way around. There's a peninsula, but I think it's called a tangi.
Yeah, tangi.
Not a ness and not an eri. The whole area is called Borderi. But this is very beautiful, and there is a very lovely little guest house called Tangahus, where I've stayed many times. But that's a special place.
Did you know, many people that go 8 times in Iceland, they travel all over, but you say you have been so many times to Westfjords. Did you fall in love with Westfjords? Did you decide to go there again, or?
I go where the guide decides. I pretty much give my guides free rein. Just take me there. Now this place, I know where it is, but I don't know what it is. It's near Bakalunda.
Oh, okay.
Havram, I might know.
Yeah.
I was with him there.
It's a very like a it could be many places.
Oh, it could be anywhere.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit like that.
But
okay, just out of curiosity. So you went first 2010, but then you started this Facebook group that's with
I
6.
started Iceland Fire and Ice. I started in July 2016.
Okay.
I had been running another group for another person then, and I stopped doing that. And I opened Iceland Fire and Ice on July the 16th. Oh, here's my bolt hole. If I were to go missing, I might be here. So this is Gorata.
Yeah, this is a very popular place to go northern light hunting if you're in Reykjavik and you don't want to go in a way outside of the city. Then you can go to Grota and hope for the lights there, hope for the cloud cover,
and hope for a spot to actually be able to stand if you can find one. And I suggest you walk further toward the lighthouse and turn left and go down toward the beach. You might get a place, but that's a bolt hole of mine that again that I've spent a great deal of time, and here always by myself. Every morning I lived not far from here. I was staying not far from here, and every morning I would walk down there and I would meet the same bicycle rider every morning, and we got to talk. Oh, now this is
what about the Facebook group again. You're very active. You're very hardworking with the Facebook admin. I've never seen Well, I've probably never seen as hardworking. You really are. You're setting. You have strict boundaries and keep it,
Yes, I do.
and you're always exchanging the photo of the day, and it's a very. It's like you run a tight ship with that. I
Yes.
like your style.
Thank you. I hope most well with hang on, I've got this figure. I got this just a short time ago to be able to tell you when I went in to check my membership just a short time ago before we came online together, Viola. My membership totals 68,003 persons
68,000 people. Yeah.
and three. Don't forget the
Yeah.
three.
Hello.
Uh,
Sorry.
and
That's
we are completely international. I don't want us to get off your track of where you want to go, Vala. So just keep pulling it back if we're not doing what you want to
no.
achieve with this. But I have no preconceived ideas.
No.
Um,
We're just having a chat. I'm just interested in, I've seen you so active in the Facebook group, and I've seen your love for Iceland. So that was the catalyst for me to have a chat with you, just basically to get to know a little bit more about you. What's the story?
well,
And
may I just talk to this photo that you have up, and another
yeah.
one. Oh, I'll probably get this wrong, Vala. So please correct me. This is Asbergi.
Oh, yeah, I was speaking. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful area.
And this is uh, the Canyon of the Gods, if you would like. And then this brings back in my mythology and the story that I go with here. Odin's eight-legged horse, Sleipnir, and please excuse my pronunciation. Sleipnir is said to have touched a hoof down, making the canyon the shape of a horseshoe. Now, whether Vala has a smile on his face, now I'm not sure whether he's believing me.
No. I know the story. I am a believer.
I'm an absolute believer.
I'm part of the faith of Ásar, so.
Well, perhaps you gathered, as am I. Um, uh, but this place is so special. So for everybody, you must go to Asbay. You must go that, and you must walk down to the pond and where this picture is. And it's a bit of a walk, and I found it a little difficult. But I'm old, um, so it's not necessarily an easy walk for anyone who might have knee problems. Um, thank you, Shannon. I understand. For
But
anyone
but
who might have knee issues, to get right down to the pond is a bit of a walk.
mhm. Yeah, but they are getting it. I think they are building better paths, and this so just for you people that maybe haven't visited this place. This is a canyon to the north of Iceland. Uh, close. They call it. We call it the Golden Circle here in the south when you do the Gullfoss and Geysir and that I think Gullir. But in the north, they call it the Diamond Circle, where you visit this place, for example. And this is a very very beautiful place, yeah, there's something magical going on there. And if you go to the pond and have a little bit of time to breathe and take it all in, that's
Just sit. Don't
mhm.
talk. Keep your
Yes.
mouth closed and just listen. Just listen. Sit and listen. Say nothing to anyone. And oh, I get,
We're getting all in meditative now.
it does something to you up here. The scientists with this, they have their own ideas about flood, earthquake, and as being responsible for this canyon, but they're wrong.
Yeah,
They're wrong. They've got to be wrong. This is.
of course.
Can we change that photo now,
Yeah,
please? That one. This is Estrahon.
Istron. Yeah.
Klausness. Klausness. I never quite know. I often get. I thought it was Estrahon, but I often get told It's Qualsness. No, you don't know what I'm talking about.
Isn't this the Batman?
Yeah, no, it's east of that. This is not Vesterhorn. This is Easterhorn.
Ah, okay.
And I generally caption. This is my photo. I generally caption this photo. The troll screams for 1 minute more. As many of us will know, and you will, Vala, when trolls stay out too late in the sun, they turn to stone. And this troll, I've captioned him because if you can get it close enough in, he's got his mouth open,
Mhm.
and I think he's screaming for 1 minute more.
I can see it.
You can see it.
Yeah.
That's one of I'm quite proud of that photo. I'm not a photographer, Vala. And anyone who's listening, I am no photographer, but I like what I see,
Mhm.
and this is a favorite of mine. So we put on this morning that 68,003 people, and I must say, if I may, Vala, I'm very proud of that group. And yes, you spoke about the work that we do, but I'm not in that alone. I have 6 other admins, all Icelanders, with the exception of one who is a Canadian Icelander. Um, his family are in Canada, but he's got Icelandic um, DNA. Actually, as have I, 2% Icelandic. I am.
2%.
I am 2% Icelandic, 9%
Okay.
Norwegian, and a whole lot of Irish and Scottish. And when
Okay.
things go wrong, I blame the Irish.
Of course.
Of course.
So, but you have this Facebook group with 67,000 people. Then you have also another Facebook group, right?
Yes, I do. I have one dedicated to all lands settled by, there it is, yes. It's dedicated to all lands settled by the Viking, including Greenland because of the settlement there, and the Newfoundland one.
Uh,
So I take anything
you,
in there. It's nowhere near as big. It's not as popular. Because once again, it's got to be original.
Mhm.
I do have another one as well that I've closed now. It was dedicated only and solely to the history of Viking lands, all Viking lands, and that included the Shetland, Orkney, Faroe, Iceland, and Scandinavia. And we talked a great deal in the beginning. These are older, these two,
Mhm.
than Fire and Ice.
So, but you're not. You've been to the Faroe Island and Greenland, right?
Yes, I have been to both.
Okay.
I went to Greenland from Iceland, and that's not a bad trip to go on. I only had 4 days there, and I didn't go to that end. I didn't go to the east. East? Oh, now I'm lost.
In
Uh,
Greenland?
I went to Greenland, but I went to Ullasit.
Yeah.
Um, it's more or less straight across, but the actual Viking settlement is further down.
Yeah. Further.
It's further south, and I think on the other side. I'm hopeless with direction. If I needed
No,
a
no problem. But you were there for 4 days, and you were just you were just experiencing Greenland culture. And
yes, yeah.
did you go out on the ice or?
No, I didn't. I went on a trip just around on a trip with with a guide, and we drove around a little bit. And it's not easy to get around in Greenland. I wouldn't suggest going there if you're planning to walk
No.
everywhere. Um, I, I would suggest going there, but 4 days was enough for me. I won't go back to Greenland. but I'm still hoping to get back to Iceland once everything clears and I can get back on a plane and go. But I'm not risking coming at the moment.
How is the situation with COVID in your area?
At the moment, we are open and we are getting deaths. We had 6 deaths yesterday. And I'm finding my government a little bit rough. I guess I can say that. I'm a little bit irritated that they opened, but I understand why they have to open. Business can't survive with everything closed. That picture of Hallgrim's is that's Hallgrim's Phoenix.
Yes.
It's a photo of his that's been far and wide. National Geographic, NASA picked that photo up. It's one that I wanted you to show. So thank you. That's had millions and millions of hits. Sorry.
Do you know like musicians? Do photographers get like a commission for each usage, like for NASA? This is a perfect photo, of course, and yes, has been used for such varied causes. I'm just curious how that.
I don't know. Hallgrim would have to answer that one. I don't know.
Yeah, no problem.
But
so okay. Obviously, the news we were talking about it earlier. So I'm gonna put you on the spot. Of course, the news from Australia is Djokovic and the tennis player, the arrogant player.
You bugger. I'm not very happy with Mr. Djokovic, I can tell you. But of course, there is the other side of him as well. He's an extremely popular man, but for all intents and purposes, from what I've been able to gather, he broke our laws of immigration. And I can't even do that. I would be stuck in jail if I did that. When I come home from all of my journeys to Iceland, I have to fill in a document of what I've got in my bag, whether I've brought anything back, where I've been and what I've done. And if I did not answer that accurately, I would not be allowed in. And it's my country. Now, this gentleman, Vali, you should not have done this.
I'm teasing you. So obviously, a lot of Australians are not happy about this tennis player that's trying to get into the country without being vaccinated, and yeah.
We are
but you told me a funny thing about Australian immigration, that or when you're coming into the country, about the dogs, right? How does that work?
We have a little bit of a joke. If the customs officer doesn't get you, the puppy will, the dog will, because dogs patrol our airport for every flight. And you walk through the airport, and I even walk through the airport, and I think to myself, and I see the dog, and I think, I haven't got anything, I'm safe. But if the dog sits by you, you're in trouble. And
if the dog sits down by you, then you're
If a dog plants its bum at your feet, well, you need to start thinking, what have I done? What have I got? So we are. I realise Australia is very strict about what we do, and by the way, most of my group, they know now, obviously, but I never actually make a point of being Australian in the group ever. I never make that a big thing. I see other Australians say, I'm from Australia, I have to take great flights. And I laugh to myself, and I think, well, I understand that you have to take great flights to get there. But I do want to, get back to our group and the lengths that myself and my admins go to try and make sure that the group's clean.
Mhm.
As you spoke to me earlier about being quite strict in the group, and I am. I admit that freely. I don't allow spammers. We vet our prospective members very carefully. It's not a good idea to mention dating clubs with us. If you mention a dating club, you don't get in. Because if you're in a dating club, you're probably looking for Icelandic women. And I don't know how many know it, but it was a few years ago now. There was a nice little rumor came out that the Icelandic government was paying gentlemen $5,000 to come to Iceland and take away their Icelandic women. Well, Vala, I'm still waiting for the Icelandic government to offer me $5,000 to take on an Icelandic gentleman. I'll be there in a flash.
Yes, I'll talk to the Prime Minister. We'll get it sorted.
And being the Prime Minister, I think the amount of times I have Prime Minister. Yes,
Yeah.
the Prime Minister.
Mm-hmm. She.
Mr. Jonasson. Who's
Sorry?
he? Mr. Goodney.
That's the president. It's Catherine.
Yes. Well. I was just going to say the amount of times I've been to Iceland and I've seen Mr. President's home, and I haven't seen him himself. But I think it's about bloody time I was invited for coffee. Can you arrange that?
Yeah. We'll get it sorted.
No, we are quite strict, and I don't allow spammers into the group. I don't allow a lot of links. I don't mind the written link, but I don't want to cloud the group with a whole lot of links to all sorts of people's Facebook groups. So that is something that we all agree on. I did have some notes, but
we don't have to go into all the rules or nothing like that. That's
no, I'm not going to. I don't know who's writing. That doesn't matter. I know the group is obviously successful. People obviously like what we're doing, or we wouldn't have 68,000 people. Of all international, our biggest group is American, is from America, as a whole country, from the US. Mm-hmm. Yes, Sean. Hello, Phoenix is amazing. I've lost my track. Don't know where I was. I was going to say something.
Yeah, we're just talking about the group and to try to keep it try to keep it clean and good. And
yes,
you're obviously doing a successful job with that. So congratulations with that. I think it's probably one of the it is one of the biggest top 2-3 groups about Iceland on Facebook.
There is another group that I know of, and I did used to admin this group a while ago, and I don't anymore. But I am delighted to say I'm told we have gone past them, and they've been around a lot longer than me. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say this, what I am rather proud of, I'm so delighted I've been able to establish the group of people, the team, and we are a team. We are very much a team. It's not my group, it's our group. Mm-hmm. And if you go back through any of my posts, it's always we and it's always our group. Never mind. I just happen to be the owner of it and the administrator of it, but I have all these people. And may I give a shout out to those guys, please?
Yeah, of course. Let's.
There's Hallgrimur P. Helgeson, who we all know. He's been with me all along. Jon Bjarni Jonsson, who has always been with me. Bray Kort. Sorry, Bray, if I get that name. How close am I? Am I close enough?
Pretty good, yeah.
Sorry, Bray. Something like that. Neil Loris from Canada. I hope I'm not missing anyone. August Dahlquist from Reykjavik, who is also one of my admins. There are 6 of us. And we have a silent one, who is my daughter, who's there only to make sure that in the event that I wasn't able, she's there to be able to get on to people. But she's not an admin. She is, but she's not an active one. And then we have another group of men and women who I won't name because I can't think of them all off the top of my head. But we instigated a group of people. It was something I wanted to do, and I spoke with the guys, and they agreed to open up a group called Group Experts. Now, it's these gentlemen and one lady who are all Icelanders who keep me out of trouble if I look like getting into trouble, who will pull me up and say, no, that's not right. If I say something out of order. I'm mentioning those people, Vala. Thank you for giving me that opportunity, but they are important. I would not be able to run this group without those people.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I can see how people are, very active in putting new material and making sure the material or the content that's put on the group is quality content. So it's great.
Yes,
But Heather, I'm not gonna. We are all now over 50 minutes now. I think we're perfectly. Time flies.
Yes, it does, and I do thank you for this opportunity, and I hope we've covered everything that you wanted to cover, and
yeah, it was perfect. I was just I was just curious about what was your backstory for Iceland and how it all started, and
yes,
we covered it everything.
That's pretty much it. I will end by saying, although Iceland is not my birthland, it is my heartland. And that's, sir, I mean, from the bottom of my heart. And that's just how it is. And I think anyone who knows me probably realize that's what it's like. Iceland is always on my mind.
Well, that's a very good line. Iceland is not my birthland, but it's my heartland.
Yes.
That's a great final words.
Thank you very much for having me, and it's been a thorough delight, and I wish you well.
Have a great day, Heather. I'm gonna go to sleep. It's just 10 minutes, 8 minutes to midnight here. But it's 9. What is 10:20 at your place? So you have all day.
Yes. Have a good evening. Góða nótt, softu vel.
Góða nótt og sofðu vel. Bless.
I didn't get that right, did I? Bless.
Yeah. I think so. Bless.
I do my best. Goodbye, Vala. Thank